Chicken here, bringing you another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be going over the last couple operation attacks, operations for the chicken coop. We've been doing really well in the operations lately. So I figured Monday it's kind of back to the grind, right? So we might as well show some operation footage. And since it's Hammerman Day, I felt like this might be a good day to just completely go over operation attacks and just catch up on all that task force stuff. If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just dive right on in. This was 2 days ago, the operation we had here. This one was different because I posted this on my Twitter account. If you follow me on the Twitter, guys, I posted a picture of the fang that we had. It was just a really strange looking fang. Like, we don't usually get fang on Foxtrot, but this one especially was just like really odd looking. So we'll go ahead and show. We'll go ahead and show Jimmy's attack here first. Now, Jimmy just joined a few days ago. Not a few days ago, a few weeks ago, I should say. So he's relatively new, but he's been a great addition. I think I went over him in my chicken coop kind of highlights video I did last week or something around then. I gotta say as well, I spent a lot of time this weekend working on that Walking Dead video, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out and let me know what you think. I had a lot of fun making it. I think it actually turned out pretty well, so I was pretty happy with that. So you see Jimmy here, he's going in on distortion. Pretty straightforward distortion, I guess. I mean, 3 shocks, you get the Zookas there, like, make sure you don't pull a chicken and put them in front of the flamethrowers, like he almost kind of did right there at the end, and just watch them get absolutely melted there. Okay, and with the medkit for Mr. Tortoise. Okay, so we got Big Mac, aka Mad Mac, going in on Tarsier. And Tarsier is more or less the same layout, I think. So yeah, it's usually you take down the mines there, and then usually these 3 shock launchers here have 2 rock launchers behind them, but they don't on this one for some reason. You don't usually get the shock launchers up at the top here, so this is kind of a weird one, I guess. If I had to guess, I'd say he's going to go between the flamethrower and the sniper tower there. That looks like a reasonably safe spot. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll see, guys. We'll see. So, a lot of people have been talking, of course, about the heroes and stuff. And I've been thinking lately, like, of course, I'm super curious to see how the game is going to be balanced with the heroes being added and everything. But, like, I'm really interested to see if they're going to be able to be used in operations. Like, how would that even work, right? Because the way I always compare it to Clash of Clans, because I figured that that's going to be the easiest way for them to actually carry the heroes over into Boom Beach. Like, unless they go for some like completely way off different mechanic where they're used like prototype troops, and maybe you can't use them in operations. If that's the case, I think that would be kind of an easy way to balance it for them. Just to say, like, you can't use the offensive prototypes. Like, maybe they only work on your map and not in operation forms. But if it is similar to Clash of Clans, I mean, just like all these high-level task forces would more or less, like, if they are really going to stay competitive, they would have to gem their hero to max, right? Or at least get them upgraded to a high enough level to. I guess that depends if they bring in anything to counteract the heroes, like they did in Clash of Clans with the Eagle Artillery. It was this massive defensive unit that was added a little bit later after the heroes, and what it did was a giant, it did a giant amount of damage, and it had like a small area on effect. So it was a pretty devastating defense that they brought in to more or less just counteract the heroes being used in high-level clan wars and stuff like that. So I don't know if they do it like Clash of Clans, like. I don't really see how that's going to work if they don't tweak anything in the operations at all, because like they can't just add a new offensive like upgrade, right? And then it's just going to be like, okay, well, now the operations are just computer. It would just be like, okay, now the operations are just like a lot easier because we basically more or less have an extra boat. We're not really sure what that's going to do exactly. I mean, it could do anything, right? It could clear mines, it could take out specific defenses, it could be some sort of flying robot dinosaur troop that falls out of the sky and does 500,000 HP damage to the core. I have no idea, guys. So I'm definitely very interested to hear that. Let me know what you guys think the hero could bring to operations. Like, how could it work in a good way is kind of what I'm thinking. Because I don't know, it's just like operations are so specific now to how you have to attack them. Like, changing that up with another troop that everyone has just seems like a drastic change. It just seems like a drastic change to the game in general, right? So it's going to be really cool to see how that actually does end up playing out. We'll speed this one up a bit here. So we got Bob, which I think is Jim's second account. So we got Jim 2 going in here as Bob with another medkit for Crazy Turtle. Holy jeez, you better be watching this video. So yeah, fairly straightforward strange attractors there. So now we get into the fun stuff, guys. Now we get into Fang. I have not seen actually how they've done this yet, so this is all going to be news to the chicken. So you see, this is kind of a weird one because, like, usually Fang, it's like nothing but rocket launchers and mortars completely around the core, right? So this one's just strange looking because it's got so much empty space in the middle. And of course, it does have a good amount of rocket launchers and mortars and stuff. So usually the way I've done Fang before in like higher level, higher number of people task forces, like 25 mans and 50 man stuff. Like usually they're the first attack. Well, usually the first attacks are to take out these shield gens, and then from there you just kind of plow up the middle. And then eventually take out the core with heavy Zooka or all Zooka, depending on like the exact locations of the rocket launchers. Sometimes you can clear a path on the right or left with Grens, taking out the cannons and stuff. So yeah, going to be very interested to see how the chicken coop goes about doing this. Not sure how, but apparently I missed watching this in the actual operation. So we got Kai going in here. Kai is a monster. Kai is basically like the guy that has the chicken coop on his back for the most part, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the other guys are great, and I don't want to take away any credit from them. But Kai gets like, I don't know, like 40% of the intel that we need all by himself on, I think he either has 2 or 3 accounts in the task force. And he does most of the intel himself. He does the notes and stuff most of the time. He does really good attacks most of the time. And yeah, so big shout out to Kai. He actually just recently had his I don't know, something happened with his phone, and he kicked 2 people out by accident. So Vuvu, if you see this, we want you back. We didn't mean to kick you out. We've been searching everywhere for you. There's been no sign. I think he got mad or something because maybe he was offended. He thought that we just kicked him out for no reason. We didn't mean to. It was just an accident. So Vuvu, come back to the chicken coop. Come on back. We want you. And yeah, all right. So we got Kai going in again on Fang here. So I'm not really sure what the plan is. Probably to get back up to where he was and just kind of clear out that whole area now that it's been opened up a little bit. We'll speed up a little bit here. And and yeah, so I started taking on the hammerman stages, and I got to stage 4, and I ran out of gold obviously without failing or anything. So I just didn't have any gold. I've got Scorcher tanks loaded up. I'm gonna completely clear my map at some point today. Obviously, it's gonna be too long to actually record. But if I can eventually do like live streaming and stuff like that, I think that would be cool to maybe like once a week doing a full like map clear or something. And then I don't know. We'll cross that hashtag chicken coop when we get to it, guys. But I think something like that in the future would be fun to do once we eventually get the live streaming capabilities. So he's going in here straight for the shield gens, it looks like. And since it's Foxtrot, the shield gens aren't that ridiculous on health. I know some of them have like, what is it, like 300,000 health if I'm not mistaken, like something crazy. It takes like 2 or 3 shots from the fully loaded Zookas to take them out. Maybe not 3 or 4, but like at least 2, which is pretty crazy. So he almost gets all of them down. So this was a pretty good attack by Mr. Kai here. You see, there's so many single shot stuff, things in range there, that it's just too much for a little handful of Zookas to be able to finish it out. So here's Boo, the guy I was just talking about, who has disappeared from the task force. Big shout out to Vu. He's been around for a long time, so we definitely want to get him back. If hopefully he watches this, get that clucking away. Alrighty, so at this point, is he gonna go for the finish here? I'm not exactly 100% sure, guys. I'm not exactly sure. So lately, the chicken's attacks in the operations have like just sucked, like just been awful. I had an okay one the other day, but other than that, it's just been brutal. Okay, so I mean that was a pretty good strategy there. There's just way too much stuff there, like all the rock launchers and everything. The nice thing about those rock launchers on the side, those 9 of them, is you can get them all in one shock, which is kind of nice. But you see, we actually needed 2 more attacks from here to finish this out. So it's just like a really weird kind of layout, because I mean, with the core being having such a wide open space around it, it's hard to get your troops locked in. You have to like manually flare and smoke them all the time to keep them from spreading out. So it is really hard in this type of base, even though it might look easier because there's less defenses and stuff. You see what I mean there? It's just such a crazy spread that we get. All right, so we'll see how he fixes this up. So it looks like he's got all the heavies touching the Zookas there, so he's probably going to lose quite a bit of them just on that. That actually worked out really well. I thought he was going to lose a lot of Zookas just because they were so close to the heavies there. You see right there, the rockets get in range, and there's nothing you can do at that point. I mean, it would be like a good idea to bring Scorchers in that situation, but with the boom cannons right behind them, if they end up touching the Scorcher at all, it's gonna be like 2 or 3 shots with the massive boost they have on. All right, so here's the Chickens attack on circuit board, guys. So I started off this by thinking, okay, I'll just GB down the shield gens because I think they had under 30,000 health. They were only shield gen 1s, and in Foxtrot it's not going to be a crazy amount of health on the shield gens. So I got to about there, and then I was like, shit, it's going to cost way too much GB to actually take them down. And so basically at this point I was like, okay, so I'll just clear it out, and then the next guy can easily finish. But I'm thinking now, what I should have done is just go straight up to the core, and then I probably could have done, what, 4 shocks, 3 rounds, or sorry, 4 shocks, and then if I had gotten, I probably would have been able to get 6 shocks out with full GBE. So I could have done 4, and then maybe 2 again on the mortars, and then the rocket launchers up top, and then maybe actually finished it out just doing that. But we decided to play it safe, guys. Just the way the operation hit's been going lately, I felt like it would be a better idea to just like play it safe and not go for the hashtag chicken hero attacks there. So we'll go ahead and actually I missed that machine gun somehow. You see that? Look where the blue circle is on that shock. Like how could that's so? I didn't even touch the boom cannon. Like bravo chicken. Like nice shock placement there. Holy jeez. So we get all the machine guns down. And I think I actually get the rocket launcher too. Of course, with fully boost, it's not that it's not impressive whatsoever. I know that. So yeah, at this point we're just I don't have any GB left. We're just kind of tanking out the rocket launchers with the med kit, and we'll finish that out. We actually did some like really good damage on the shield. I was quite surprised. So if I had just done that and then maybe saved the GB I wasted up on the shield gens, like this was definitely a soloable base, like for sure. There's no excuse to not solo that. So then we got Pickle going in here next. And there's a Pickle guy in the comments the other day, and I thought that it was this guy on my map, so I just let the warriors fly out just to give him some intel and stuff, just because I thought I recognized the name, but it turns out that was a different Pickle, so if that guy does watch, then you're welcome, and big shout out to all the Pickles in the Boom Beach world, guys. Alright, so Picky, where are you going here, bud? Where are we going here? So I think he's just going to flare onto the core and then shock the rocket launchers, right? Like that's, oh my god, wow, that was a chicken he just pulled out. He just pulled there. So it turns out that he did need to use all of his GB on that one. That was actually really close. So that sucks. I might have done the same thing. I'm not sure if I knew that those rocket launchers were in range on the left side. And then we got Mr. Poing, guys. Mr. Poing, 220% GB, which is pretty crazy considering he has like what, like a 14% masterpiece. So this one here, he basically more or less just has to get there and throw some critters out and just get one shot off, and I think he'll be fine. So while Poing's going in, guys, I'm going to use this to do some self-promotion here. I put out a Clash Royale video last night of my first Grand Draft Challenge, and it was actually, it started out awful, but if you stick around, it actually ended up pretty entertaining. So if you want to check that out, definitely do that, guys. I know some of you don't like Clash Royale, but I don't know. I have fun with it sometimes, and then other times... Oh, nice one. Or, wait, is he going to use the smokes to smoke the critters? Okay. My bad point. You're much smarter than the chicken. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with Clash Royale. I find it, like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like some days I'm just, like, screaming at it, like, throwing my device against the wall and stuff. And then other days I just, like, love it and can't get enough. And I don't know. It can be super frustrating. Like, I totally understand if you don't like the game. But yeah. So that is this operation, guys. That was the Fang takedown. We finished it up. I guess we'll put the chicken on roast here really quickly. This attack was to save the whole operation from yesterday. Look at this. Look at this. Like 2 rocket launchers, a machine gun, and a shock launcher. That's it. That's all that's in range. This was for the whole operation to finish it. This was make or break. Like, I cannot believe that I found a way to screw this up. I was so mad. Because, like, I haven't been able to be really active lately, so I haven't been able to get a lot of intel. So you just feel like such a schmuck when all the operation comes down to you, and I'm not getting much intel. Like, it's just like, Jesus Christ, chicken. Like just get it together. Like, holy jeez. Like, these guys are doing so well. It's like I just come in and just like flap the wings and like spread the feathers all over everything and just ruin the parade. So what I should have done, looking back, I should have just been able to take out that rocket launcher, those 2 rocket launchers, and probably the machine guns, and then flare back up to the top, take out some of the barrels, and then flare back over to the left side, take out the shock blaster and flamethrower there, because there's so much free GBE at the top, right? Like, you really don't need that much that would be given to you for free, because I only needed the 1 shock, maybe 2 shocks right there on the machine guns if I wanted to save a couple smokes, and then come back down and then clear out this stuff, and then I would just be at the top here sitting pretty, like there'd be nothing in range. No mortars, no rocket launchers, no machine guns or anything, and then, like, yeah, the core was kind of beefy, but I mean, the shield gens were only level 1, so it wasn't that crazy. Plus, if I needed to, I probably could have taken them out with critters. So I found this very interesting on this raid. You see the doom cannons hitting the critters? Like, look how many times that they fire on them. Like, they're supposed to do splash damage, right? But look, they're just hitting 1 single critter each time. Like, they must be, the critters must have been just spaced enough for the doom cannon to not have any sort of splash damage effect. So I found that super weird and honestly super lucky. So we'll go ahead and speed it up here. It doesn't need to be that long. But yeah, I was super mad at myself for this one. I couldn't believe that cost us the whole operation just by having a chicken fail here. I don't know, I've been finding, like, I don't take the machine gun seriously enough, like, especially when your Zookas are damaged a little bit. Like, the machine gun gets a couple clips on, it's just like, whoosh, like, good night, Zookas, that is going to be it. And then, of course, I'm going against the shield with the shock blaster on the Zookas. Like, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work, chicken. So, hope you enjoyed the Operation Edition of today's video, guys. Definitely let me know down in the comments how your task force is doing. We'll go with the quick stats here before we close it out. So we recently hit 150. I think within the next couple weeks we'll be able to break the top 100. Hopefully that's the goal. So let me know how your task force is doing and all that stuff down in the comments, guys. That's gonna wrap it up the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you're interested, entertainment, or informative, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Chicken out.